It's Halloween, and you know what that means? Vampires, scurrying around all over the place and trying to get ya. You're relaxing? They're in the bushes. So instead of wearing that stinky garlic necklace or lugging around that heavy wooden stake, try Flavors of the Forest Vampire Repellent. Just sprinkle a little on your food before venturing outside, and those bloodthirsty undead are sure to run the other way. Flavors of the Forest Vampire Repellent. Bite back at flavorsforest.com/vampire. For flavor beyond this realm.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump, from the deep below the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Energy today and I'm going to spill out my guts. No pun intended, because it is Halloween. Oh, we're about to make deposits into the bank of knowledge. That is right. Welcome back to Paranoi Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Trebles Garcia, your humble host. And I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. We just got done posting on YouTube and letting everybody know that the big homie MYTHOS is going to be late to his YouTube premiere because he's taking the time to record here tonight for you beautiful folks on all ends. I want to make sure that you guys know where to find us. Guys, we're on YouTube. We are on all podcast platforms absolutely free. And you're going to be like, yo, what's wrong with this energy? I'm going to tell you something, guys. I've been doing this to blow up, and I forgot the essence of it. I've been doing this because I wanted to be someone, belong, because I wanted to be revered and respected and feared, and I was doing it all for the wrong reasons this last couple months, this entire freaking year, if I'm honest. I forgot that this episode, that not only this episode, but this show is meant to be fun. It has to be fun to create. It has to be fun for the consumer, for the subscriber, for the listener. In order to be in the high frequency, it needs to be fun. It needs to be enlightening. It needs to be peaceful. It needs to resonate love. So I want to take a couple steps back, and I want to ask you guys to please forgive me if you guys have been loyal listeners and subscribing to the show and I haven't been delivering the honest, truthful self. I'm here back. I'm now here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm a father and I'm a regular Joe just like you guys. And I'm going through a real hard time in my life because I am fighting not only addiction, but I'm also fighting my internal emotions. And as a man, we're not supposed to talk about our emotions, but what the hell am I here for if I'm not here to express myself? It's hard. It's hard. It's been a rough couple of days, and I haven't been able to jump on the mic to really deliver the impactful episodes that I want to deliver. But God has a plan. God does everything by design. And I trust that he will put me on the right path. I want to thank every single one of you again for joining us. Drop a 5-star review. Guys, when I mean this, when I'm telling you guys to do this, is because it means the world. It fixes everything. And it allows other people like you to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. This is my pastime, my hobby. Every waking moment that I wake up, I bleed into this show. I bleed into new cameras, into new computers, into new methods, into new AI, into new art, into deep dives, into networking, collaborating, and building community. It is extremely hard to be a one-man band. And I want to remind you guys that one little 5-star review, or even a negative 1 5-star review, or a review on Apple Podcasts really makes the difference. For the people that are engaging right now on YouTube, thank you. For the people that are engaging right now on Rumble, thank you. Now, enough for the sad talk. Let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. My next special guest has been here before. He is no stranger to mother freaking danger. He's out there in the mother Midwest. He's my mother brother. I call him MYTHOS. He is the host, Ryley, from Midwest MYTHOS Podcast. What's up? How you doing, bro?
What's up, brother? Man, it's a pleasure to be here again. Man, I've been looking forward to this, and oh man, I'm ready to bring it. I know you're ready to bring it. We both had some days these last 2 days, brother. But
We
you know
did.
what? God got us through them, and here we are. And you know what?
I usually record with the blue. Where's it at? But today, because it's a red holiday, I'm gonna go with Red October. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
I want to thank you again for spending some time here again, bro. Today we have my very first. I used to do a Fright Fest extravaganza the entire month of October, but I haven't had the chance to really dive deep into some cryptid talks, into some serial killer stuff. But that's why you're here today. Where can people find you, Ryley? Let them know.
All right, you can find me anywhere. You can type in Midwest Mythos if you want to get a hold of me like that on the Instagram. Midwest Mythos. That is the place I'm the most active. You know, I took a month off, so you know it ain't been real popping lately, but we back on it. That's gonna be active. I got a TikTok that I don't use, but you know it's there. It's some kind. You got like 4 videos up on there that you can check out.
Oh yeah.
Find me on the YouTube, Midwest Mythos Podcast, and then anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can find by typing in Midwest Mythos. And if you guys don't have it ingrained in your brain yet, one more time, Midwest Mythos.
Oh yeah. Midwest Mythos.
Wow.
Yo, talking about Midwest Mythos on TikTok. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on my 4th account on TikTok. And also, we opened a Sora account. Guys, if you guys want to engage on some AI badassery, check us out on Sora. I'm telling you, it's freaking legit. You don't know what Sora is? It's ChatGPT's Sora. It's like AI generated videos with audio. And it's insane. I've been playing with it. So every single thumbnail that you guys see is created on Sora. But now Sora 2 came out and it made it into a social media platform type stuff. And I think, mark my words, it's going to overtake TikTok. I'm telling you, anybody can make AI videos and generate content and content create and become the next big thing. So much, in fact, the big homie Grim from the Big Grimbowski podcast is creating the very first conspiracy theorist inspired short film, all done in AI, starring myself from Paranoi Radio podcast, Catalyst Jones from the White Rabbit, Chef from Sunday Night Secret Societies, Flash or Fleshy_News1, Rico from the Talking Roosters podcast, and many others. I'm telling you, bro, the plot is about killing crazy, I can't say the word with the J, funny hat people, as lizards invading our Earth, and we're physically demolishing them with these beautiful guns. Can I say guns on YouTube?
Water guns.
Water guns. Pew, pew. That's right. Guys, you got to go check that out. And that's going to be out on YouTube as well for everybody to see. That is groundbreaking because no one's doing that. I think he's the very first dude.
I think so. He sent me a little teaser. Dude, I was laughing so hard. And not not like because it was bad or anything, because it was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. I just could not believe it. I was like, what am I watching? And why do I want so much more of it?
Because it's hard to watch, but it's also consumable. Guys, keep that eye out. By the time this episode comes out in Halloween, that entire movie will probably be screening already on all social media platforms, and you can find it on paranoiradio.com and Paranoi Radio on Instagram and everywhere else. Yo, Midwest Mythos, cryptids, your specialty. It is Halloween. Let's get spooky. I want to wish a happy Halloween to everybody out there that's enjoying this time around. I used to talk about Halloween and say that it was a very cryptic and very satanic and occult holiday. But you know, quite frankly, you make it to what you want it to be. It's the truth, bro. I know people that enjoy Christmas and I know people that enjoy Halloween. Not everything is doom and darkness. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Bro,
oh, yeah.
I know what you're saying. That's why I got married on Halloween, bro. You make what you make of it. And I'll never forget the day.
Smart man. Very smart man. When I grow up, I want to be like you, Mythos. I'm telling you, bro. That's a smart melon. What's up, big dog? Yo, today we're going to be scaring the people with a little darkness in some of your stories, bro. But right before we jump in anything, I want to remind you that this is Paranoi Radio Podcast. Check us out. Drop a 5-star review. And if you're on YouTube, mad love and respect. Let's freaking go, bro. Okay, what's one of your darkest stories you got on us, bro? Share with me, bro.
Bro, honestly, I got a couple. But this one is honestly this one's really, really weird because it's not deniable in anything. It's one of those horror stories that is so far-fetched and crazy that it sounds like, oh, somebody wrote this as a movie script, but this actually happened, and it's the Port Lock incident. Have you ever heard of that before?
Never. Enlighten me.
All right.
Or scare me. There we go. That's
all right. So Port Lock is a former fishing town in Alaska. And, fishing's pretty good up there. I mean, you got your Alaskan cod, your Alaskan crab, all that good stuff. If you like seafood, chances are you've eaten some stuff that comes straight from Alaska.
Alaskan salmon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, there's some big money in that. So to the fact, I'm not even going to mention that. Just know there's some big money in that. And a lot of people to live in Alaska, it's tough. So you're giving up a lot to go up there and make these bands.
Word.
But in the 1950s, things got a little weird. And that's because some weird stuff started happening. Whoa.
I wasn't expecting that. Weird stuff happening. Look at that shit.
Thanks, baby. I had her standing there waiting to flip the lights. Just for that. But yeah, so some wild stuff started happening. People it's Alaska, it's wilderness. Even if you're on you're in the basin, you still got woods and all this stuff behind you. So this village, this town, some people may say, started noticing these weird things out in the woods. They started noticing strange tracks, footprints that are a little too big to be human. They kind of look human, but they're a little too big. I might be giving away the monster at this point, but they started having some weird noises, calls, screams, all this stuff out. Then animals and stuff started going missing. They're like, So, people started looking around, asking questions. Maybe there's wolves. They got them giant old Yukon grizzlies and all that kind of stuff up there. Maybe it's a grizzly or something like that. Well, as time went on and they started keeping having stuff, people started disappearing.
Well,
and women, children, all this kind of stuff. They just started disappearing. And they started finding mutilated bodies all over the place. All right. So time keeps on going and they start seeing these things, these giant hairy man creatures out in the woods. And at nighttime, they would come and start abducting people. They start destroying the town and stuff like that. Well, people are making a lot of money here. So they're toughing it out. They're just, it's probably a bear. It's probably something. It's a bear standing up. Well, time went on and it started getting really, really bad. So one night it got really like a whole tribe of them. And this is just from what I've read. There's different things, but a whole bunch of them came and just started demolishing everything. Everybody left everything as it was and ran to the beach. And they stayed on the beach out of the woods for days and days and days as they started boating people away.
What?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Just because these things were attacking them. These Bigfoot were attacking these people, this village of people, which, you don't hear, well, I guess You do, just because, you know, your friends like
Mm.
me and Drewski, we tend to bring the more violent side of these things out. But
Yep.
you
Word.
know, most
Shout out
people,
to Drewski. Shout out to Drewski from Cryptid Warfare Operations and Cryptid Warfare Podcast. All right.
all right, shout out, brother, much love.
Mm.
But Sasquatch in Alaska is a whole different beast. These, if you couldn't tell by this story, these things are violent. That's why they're called the
Mm.
Alaskan Killer Bigfoot, because
Word.
just like any creature up there, they're freaking massive compared to everything else, and they're a lot more
Mm.
violent because they have to be. But
Mm.
these things pushed an entire village of people out, making
Mm.
really, really good money. Killed a bunch of them, all this stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I've been really scared in my life, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever been so scared that I leave my house in the middle of the night to run to a beach. That scared.
That's a next level fear. Yeah. Next level fear, bro. That's an interesting story. I have one for you too. Now that we're storytelling around the fire, check this out. So I did a deep dive, and this is not mostly a story; it's just a deep dive, basically, on the original Batman. So I like touching roots with doing deep dives where like the people that I come from, and not that I'm super proud for or anything, because they were very, I want to say, almost demonic, very dark, very twisted. And the Mayans were known. I think I did a presentation on a couple of our homies' show where they were using liquid crystal glass, right, to induce themselves and introduce their energies and consciousness into the organic algorithm of the earth. However, this episode is not about that. This story is not about that. These people were also letting demonic entities ride their bodies. So in the old days, there's a special word for Muslims. What they call it, jinn, when you're possessed. The Catholics and the Christians call it possession. Infected spirits. Every ancient society has a special different name for what demonic possession is, and many societies also, and many priests, like the Greeks, like the Egyptians, and even the Mayans and the Aztecs, the Olmecs, and all these ancient civilizations, they used their magic and plants and ritual dances and satanic rituals so that they could become and call in these spirits purposely and get possessed purposely. Now, I'm not going to go into detail what the possession symptoms are, but I am going to go into what they become. So we call them skinwalkers nowadays, but they used to have these. The Mayans, the Olmecs were obsessed with transforming their bodies into creatures and abominations, bro, like the were-jaguar and the were-bat, like the original Batman. In fact, I think I sent you the image of the original Batman. It was called Casmots with two Z's, and you can find this entity and depictions of these entities in the dark caves of the Yucatan Peninsula. And why is it so important? It's because the sacrifices was you had to drink blood, baby's blood. You had to sacrifice animals on certain days of the year and enter the caverns with permission. Still to this day, if you enter these caverns and you don't ask permission or are routed by a priest, you get this infection called mal vientos, which means terrible winds. And when you come out of those caves, if you make it out of those caves, you come back with some type of stutter, heart problems, high blood pressure. You can't sleep, insomnia, schizophrenia, all types of different attachments. Very important. And the most important thing is that when they would pray, they would trying to transform half man, half human into this Casmots entity. It's a ritual filled with blood, life sacrifice, in order to become a skinwalker of the dark in those caves. And there's more details about Casmots, but yeah, bro, very interesting stuff.
Dude, I remember the other night when you sent me a picture of that thing, I was like, that looks like something straight out of the depths of hell.
Yep.
It was not pleasant to look at. And most people would look at that thing and say, oh, that's just like a fairy tale, you know, don't worry about it. But like you said, you find these images, these things in the backs of caves, bro. And I I don't believe that our ancestors had as a good imagination as we did when it comes to artistically, I mean, as far as like coming up with these creatures and stuff, because our minds have been so saturated with all these images and media and stuff like that. It's easy for us to mesh these things together, but we're also pulling these things from all over the world. So I really think they had to see something like the one I saw. I was like, that's just not something somebody comes up with. That's something somebody sees and records, dude.
Somebody experiences, yeah. In this case, these people were just experiencing it, but they were manifesting it. They were bringing it out, opening these portals. Coincidentally, in that area of the world, there's also the biggest portals, the biggest cave systems, the biggest liquid mercury reservoirs in the freaking planet. I'm telling you, bro, it's the 33rd parallel. That's wild, bro.
You know what's wild? One more wild thing about it. This is just me being a big comic book nerd and all this kind of stuff. So they've been doing with the Batman like movies and stuff like that, the animated ones. They've been doing Batmans from across the world, and so they did Samurai Batman, and they did like an anime style. Well, this next one that comes out in a couple days is Aztec Batman, and he's got like all Aztec cowl, all the face paint, all the inscriptions and stuff like that. Which I wonder where they got the inspiration and stuff for that.
Casmots. I'm telling you, bro. Ooh, what other scary story do you have for us, bro? Let me, and just before while you're looking through your notes, I'm gonna tell you guys, what is Casmots known for in Olmec stories, right? And this is just Google. I'm not using ChatGPT. Cosmox is the name of likely stems for confusion or Camazots. It's actually Camazots, not Casmots. I stand corrected. The Mayan bat god is featured prominently in later Mesoamerican mythology, especially in the Mayan creation story of Popol Vuh. The Olmec civilization is considered the mother culture, and blah, 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 blah. Casmots. The myth of Casmots is described as Popol Vuh and is well-known part of the Mayan and Olmec legend. It's famously look in the story, Camazots famously decapitates one of the two twins of the creators in the pantheon for the Olmec and Mayan civilizations. So it controls the darkness. It has hidden temples, and it was a key element in the pantheon of the ancients. That is nuts. I didn't even go that deep into it. I think I'm gonna do a whole episode on Camazots, bro.
Bro, I think you should. I think there's a lot.
It's a skinwalker.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, and there's these things all over the world, man. I don't like that people think of skinwalkers just inside, Southwest America. They're
yeah, they're everywhere.
Everywhere. All right, I'll give you the option of two of them. I got another Bigfoot one, or I know it wasn't on the list of what we were talking, but it's kind of local for me, and it's some Native American lore.
Give me the Native American. Hit me with your best shot. Give me away.
All right, man. So we got the Piazza monster. Yeah, I think so. It's from Illinois, and it's part of the Algonquin Indians. And so the Piazza monster, what it translates is to the bird that devours men. And,
look at that.
Yeah. So the legend has there's this big, it looks like some kind of chimera. Dude, it's got like the man of a face. It's got a man's face, an eagle's body.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
With like some dragon scales. And so how they originally, besides Algonquin, like word of mouth is, if you Google it, the Piazza monster, Illinois, all you'll see is this image on the side of a rock, and that goes along the river. And somebody's going down the river, and they notice this painting on the wall. So they, asked the tribe and stuff like that, and they got the thing. So basically, this giant man bird, like griffin chimera thing.
Oh, that's fucking. Sorry if I'm cursing. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Keep talking, and I'm gonna bring this picture up. I think this is shareable. Keep talking. Keep telling me about this stuff.
All right. So back in the day, this thing would go around supposedly and just devour. That's the name, the man devouring bird. Started going around destroying people, all that. So there was this Native American leader. I'm trying to find in my notes where his name is real quick. Sorry. This was one that I had pulled up and then I took it down, but then I brought it back up after you mentioned that. So, all right. So I'm really sorry.
What?
Really sorry, guys.
Handle, bro. Do your thing. No problem. The Piazza Monster. Look at this, folks. Yo, that is nuts. I've never seen this ever. Why have you been where did you keep this little gem? Look at that.
So I'd be lying if I said that I was the one that made this in the circulation now. Small Town Monsters, they did a documentary. It's called Terror in the Skies, and they talk about Indiana and Illinois, like all these, because we got a lot of winged creatures up in the skies. We got the Chicago Mothman. There's Thunderbird size. A kid got abducted by a Thunderbird 20 minutes down the road from my house. But then we got this thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. I can't,
fellas.
All right. So I can't find the tribe chief's name. But basically, this thing was terrorizing. So a bunch of men went out. They tried to kill it. Their spears and stuff weren't working very well against it. So the chief was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. He got like 100 plus of them, and they all went in. They're like, we're going to trap this thing, and then like we're going to get real close into it, and we're going to kill it. So, he lost a couple dudes, but then the legend goes, they started just going to town on it, and the chief dealt the final blow on it and just dropped it, and there was nothing else ever again. There's not a whole bunch on it besides the fact that this thing used to attack people, and the chief just destroyed it. But dude, just imagine that thing flying around, because I believe in dragons, bro. I believe in dragons.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's the story. Chief Autoga.
Yes, that's what it was.
Look at that.
Yeah, dude, they they murked it, dude. But I think as kids, man, or our descendants still might be going around in here, man. There's always weird stuff out in the sky. And like I said, I think it was in the 80s or 90s in around Rolling Prairie, Indiana. The dude, a kid was playing out in his yard, and this giant bird came down and swooped him up and started dragging him away. He drug him across his property and then eventually dropped him because he was a little too heavy. But an 8-9-year-old kid, bro, I don't know any bird that's big enough to do that.
This is one of the most interesting pieces of cryptids that I've ever seen between like skinwalkers, the Preta. I've learned about the Preta. I'm gonna drop that episode very soon with the Cryptid Huntress. Jessica Jones, man. Shout out to Mrs. Jones. But this one, dude, the Piazza. That's nuts, bro. Look at that, man.
It is absolutely wild, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, you ever make your way up here to the Midwest, we'll take a little trip and we'll go kayaking past this thing.
It's like a dragon mixed with like a deer and like I don't know. Look at this, bro. Look at this depiction of it. That's freaking wild, bro. Beautiful creature if you look at it from side. I'm telling you, I mean, damn.
Got that fishtail, all that kind of stuff, man.
It's like a weird hybrid spliced with all the major, like the top predators of the earth. You have the mammals, you have a bird, you have the claws of a bird, you have antlers, you have the face of a lion, you have scales like a fish. That means this is an elemental type of animal. And this is the camisoles that I wanted to show you guys. This is the original. This is actually an original Mayan depiction of the camisoles, and this is the bat-winged creature that I was telling you about. and it was half man, half bat, and I'm telling you, bro, very inspirational. You can see the Mayan Aztec depictions of it right here. Ah, it's freaking crazy, dog.
That is wild. That looks like something
Look at
straight out of Monster Hunter, man. I don't know if you ever
word,
played those
bro.
games.
So this kind of puts me like, okay, well then, what the hell what has a chupacabra been?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at that.
Because like that definitely fits more of the Mexican chupacabra.
The Mexican chupacabra.
I-
Mm-hmm. Kind of like this. That's the depictions they would have. It was kind of like a cholo, the cholo dog, but
Mhm.
it said that it had scales in the back, kind of like this. So the blood sucking. Actually, the chupacabra is not Mexican. Actually, the first sighting of chupacabra was in Puerto Rico, and then it jumped onto the states and it moved down into. This is nuts. That's actually a pretty scary freaking. Look at that. And it's known for also blood sucking through the neck and multiple cattle. Hundreds of stories of El Chupacabra. The Chupacabra was huge in the late 90s and early 2000s. If you guys remember the Chupacabra was one of those one of the scariest blood sucking, even in LA, one of the scariest blood sucking phenomenon in the country, bro.
Dude, it's
Mhm.
wild, especially when you get like you said, it originates in like Puerto Rico and stuff. They talk about this thing being like green and glowing and all that stuff, almost like an alien. But if you're in the same mindset as me, aliens are just, demons and stuff like that.
Ooh, I like where you're taking this.
It it all comes together, man. All skinwalkers are, man, is people in contract with demons that allow them to transform and stuff like that. I mean, I think that covers a lot of these things, man. And going back to like
Dude, the Piazza. Look at that monster, bro. That's the one you brought up, the Piazza.
right, and it's all it's associated with water, man. Well, what's there a lot of here in Illinois, Michigan, Indiana?
Hmm.
Frickin' water, dude. The Great Lakes. The Mississippi River runs through there. The Ohio River, dude. There's so much water. I mean, this thing's got a fishtail. It wouldn't surprise me if there's these things living in the lakes and in the rivers, man.
1000%. I think so too. Let me ask you this question, though, bro. One more. Give me one more story. Let me ask you a personal question. What was the story that made you take a step back and say, no, I want to go home? Let's turn around. It
You
doesn't
know,
have to be cryptid.
I, yeah, I'm I'm trying to think. I got a stupid one that got me for a long time, but
Hit me, bro.
I, I'll give you the silly one that first, then I'll give you the serious one. All
Mm-hmm.
right, this one will get some laughs. If there's children listening,
Mm-hmm.
parents, yeah, for the end, I'll try to make it as PG as possible, but possibly skip it. So, growing up, we got a lot of woods and stuff around here. My buddy's dad liked to mess with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So one day he was, my buddy would trick us saying, "Hey Riley," and whoever else was coming. But this time it was my buddy Pablo. He was like, "Hey Riley, Pablo, you guys want to come and have some dinner, hang out?" We're like, "Sure." And this is before we got used to it. Whenever this buddy would invite us over to have dinner, it meant, "Oh, we're gonna put you to work, and then you'll have dinner later tonight." But as our friends, so we didn't care. So we were out chopping some wood one day, and his dad was like, "Hey boys, it's starting to get dark. We got to get inside here soon. We got to get out of the woods, get back, in the yard, inside, all that kind of stuff." We're like, "Okay, why?" He's like, "Because the woolly boggers come out." And I'm like, "What's a woolly bogger?" And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Oh, Riley, I know you like Star Wars. It's kind of like an Ewok, but it's more slender, and it's not. It has hair all over its body, but it's not bushy and hangs down like an Ewok.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got this big, big mouth, real big lips, I should say. But they go vertical instead of sideways, horizontal like ours.
Mm-hmm.
And real small eyes, and you'll hear it go. You'll hear that out in the woods, and like
That's a good interpretation of that creature.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, all right. So we're chilling in the yard. He goes and hides out in the woods, and is like starts going. And we just start freaking out. We're like, "Where's your dad? Where's your dad?" And for the longest time, we wouldn't go out. We wouldn't go out of the woods at dark. We're young. We didn't think. And what the wildest part is his uncle had the head of one of these hanging up in his house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, they're real. They're real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as this is the part parents, you might want to fast forward at about 45 seconds. Well, it turns out the woolly bogger was a doe vagina with googly eyes and a beard put on it.
Oh my God.
So you just cut the back end of a doe off and hang it and put some eyes on it, some teeth inside the yeah. But
oh my God.
Yeah, and they'd hang it up on the wall. So
that is disgusting.
It is, but that's the funny that's the first one that like got me to not go in the woods. But by the time we were like 12, I was like, oh, I know what that is now. He was like, yeah, it took you a little longer than I thought it would, but yeah. So, but that's a local legend that everybody gets told about around here to keep you out the woods at night. But
I have an episode called Lunatic. It's on season 1. It's one of the first, I want to say 25 to 100. I want to say the first 25 episodes called Lunatic. And this is when the show had a very low production. But you could find it on YouTube and everywhere, guys, if you guys are interested. And it's an episode on a serial killer called Albert Fish. He had a cult following called the Fish Heads, and he was not only a pedophile, but he was also a murdering animal during the early 1800s in New York. And people used to call him the Brooklyn Vampire. And he used to grab people, bro, and hang them up. And this guy grew up like with pain. Like he would put nails in his part and in his back part inside, masturbate to have, and he would have a full-on erection while he was in pain. He went multiple times to the emergency to get nails and staples and all types of other different sharp objects out of his body, out of his back. And he was also he was gay. And the dude would have sex with men, take them out to the woods, hang them, and then skin parts of his body and eat them. And he would eat human flesh. Albert Fish, he wasn't only a serial killer, but he was a cannibal. He was a masochist on top of that. Then he started doing it to kids. He would abduct children, take them into his warehouse, and then inflict pain on the victims until they couldn't scream no more. And then later, bits by bits, that he would have his victims pull out their own nails and then feed it to him. He was an insane character. He was a lunatic. Albert Fish from New York from the 1800s. I think in 1800s or 1700s. 1800s, I think it is. One of the most absurd, insane, and horrific stories in the world. I did a full deep dive on it. Very gruesome, not for the faint of heart. It's called Lunatic on season 1. Yo,
dang.
I'm gonna share one story real quick, and this is pretty scary. When I was 11, 12 years old, I used to go get high with my brothers at the Rose Hills Cemetery, where we now currently have my mom buried my mom, and it's a beautiful place now. But before, whenever it was under construction, anybody could just go up the hill, and it's a huge hill. It's Rose Hills, and it's like you have to drive all the way up, and it's within 15 minutes you get to the Chinese portion of the cemetery, which is overlooking the entire San Gabriel Valley of LA and also into downtown. It's a beautiful place. It's where Eazy-E was buried. And one time my brothers and I went, and it was just me and my brother. They're twins, by the way. One of them stayed in the car with his girlfriend, and we wanted to leave them alone for a bit so they could get the freak on. So myself and Omar walked away, and we started going up to the Chinese cemetery and go get high up there, and we just sit at the park and sit. So this time we went and we saw that they had like a mini Chinese Christian temple right before, like a chapel. It was a chapel where they do like the sermons, and not sermons, because they're called the vigils. So then I walked in there, and then we seen that the lights were on, and we heard some people chanting like worshiping. I'm like, what the heck, bro? It's like freaking 12, and there's people up here. What the freak? So we went, bro. The lights were on. The door was open, and it was glass door. The door was open. You could hear the chants, but there was nobody inside the church. So my brother opens it up. He opens it, and as soon as he opens, the lights turn off. Boom! And they're like, yo, if there's anybody here, bro, get out right now. We're gonna call the cops. And by this time, we were freaking shitting it. And we're like, what the heck? And then we're like, yo, bro, what the fuck was that? My brother looks at me. He's like, dude, let's get out of here, bro. Let's go tell Freddy. And we're about to turn around, and then we hear the chanting again from the outside of the church, but it wasn't inside. It was like 4 or 5 women singing, like worshiping outside of the church. And we're like, what the crap? We turned around, bro, and we seen an older lady sitting down like this in the dark on the side of the building. And it was dark. There's no lights. And you could see the shadows of the trees, her sitting right in the middle, and in the side of the building, and then that door where the lights were on when we opened the door, that's right before the lights turned off. And we looked, the lights turn on, so it's the light glare is a little glaring, and you can still see like the silhouette of her white robe. Not robe, she had like a bathrobe almost on, and she was like this. I'm like, do you need help? And she started singing, and then she stands up and looks at the wall. She didn't look at us yet, and we're like, no, get the fuck out of here. I'm out of here. And I grabbed Omar, let's go. And I freaking pull him down, and then we start running down, bro. And I'm like, I'm running so fast, one of my freaking flip-flops flies off, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And they get to the thing, and then Omar, Freddy, and like, hey, bro, what's up, bro? He turned on the lights. I'm like, get in the car. I'm like, bro, were you knocking on the window? I'm like, no, there's people knocking on the window of the car. So they couldn't get their freak on because somebody was haunting their car. And then Omar and I were stopped right before we started. We were going to smoke and get stoned. Somebody was haunting up there too. So we got in the freaking car, bro. We started driving as fast as possible down the hill. It's a good thing it's only 15 minutes away from home. But it was one of the wildest stories. And then when we got home, we popped open some beers and we were just fucking laughing. Yes, guys, I started doing drugs and drinking at a very young age. But my brothers and I were inseparable, and we still mention that story still to this day. And the guys were like, dude, what do you think it was? I'm like, yeah, we were definitely being freaking haunted or fucked with. We were probably being fucked with. Because that area by Turnbull Canyon is one of the most scary places here in California too. Turnbull Canyon, Rose Hills, Hacienda Heights, and then the San Gabriel Valley Mountains, all of them are known to host a lot of disappearances, 411 missing, a lot of abducted kids, but most importantly, some KKK gatherings. So I think we were getting fucked with. That's what I believe.
Hey, man, that's wild, man. That blows my story. I was about to say out the water.
It's a good day to spread some beautiful stories, and we don't have an agenda, guys. We're just here to share our stories with you guys. I want you guys to remember that this is a time to remember your dead, honor them, love each other when you're alive, and obviously intent is everything. Guys, you have an intimate relationship with God. And have fun this Halloween Eve, Halloween time. Go ahead, enjoy yourselves. Go out there trick-or-treating. Live on, people. Not everything is dark. Not everything is hopeless. We like to keep it hopeful over here. Yo, Mythos, let them know where they can find you, Big Dog.
You can find me anywhere. You can type in Midwest Mythos. I'm on the YouTube, all podcast platforms. Instagram at Midwest Mythos. You know, there's the TikTok. It sounds like I'm going to be downloading Sora here too, even though I don't like AI, but all my friends are doing it, so I got to do it too.
Follow me at Trebles Garcia. Go for it. Follow me. We start doing some content together, bro. I'm telling you, it's fire.
Let's do it. Now, I don't know if you wanted to wrap this up or
you have one more?
I got the serious one for you. It's short, man. All right. So, this kind of covers two properties right by each other. Mm-hmm. So my mom was on the PTO of my elementary school and middle school and all that stuff. Really involved. So me and my sister, we stayed after school a lot. We'd go in early, and a couple of our friends, parent moms, were on the PTO as well. So, there'd be a group of us kids just hanging out and stuff like that. Well, at the elementary school, there would be this in the boys' bathroom is where they kept all the gym supplies, and there was just these rooms that kept on going on and on back behind that were storage that nobody had access to. There was a gate. But we were cool with the gym teacher, so he told us where the key was and all this stuff. But the school legend was that the old principal from like the 70s and 80s, he passed away of cancer. But with everybody would because the cemetery is right next to the school. Like there's the school, there's the cemetery. That this dungeon thing was haunted and stuff, and the old principal was there, and it was just so weird. It scared us all the time. Like we were like, oh, let's go play basketball. Then we'd sit there and realize, oh, we had to go. Well, I had to go in there and get the basketball because I was the only boy. So I'd refuse to do that, and we'd be scared running around the school at night thinking that, there's ghosts and stuff chasing us. But it got real creepy when I got into, middle school, because the old middle school building's been around for I think it's going on like almost 200 years. And there's this part of it called, it was the football locker room. So old building. It's got like 4 floors, which was wild for a school with only like 200 people in it. But in the basement was called the dungeon, and that's where the football locker room was. And you had to go down. You had to go down all these super narrow stairwells. Yeah, just like actual dungeon staircases going down. All brick, decrepit and stuff. Everything else had been remodeled, but this was just like terrifying, and everybody was scared to go down there by themselves. But 200-year-old building, people died there and stuff like that.
1000%.
So there would be stories of like ghosts. Like teachers would even talk about, yeah, I was here by myself. Like my one teacher, she's straight up told us, like whenever we're like, oh, the TV's in your room, are we gonna watch a movie? And she's like, no, when I come here by myself and I'm in this building by myself, I get terrified. Not to scare you kids, but y'all are in 6th grade. You can handle this. Yeah, I have to play movies because I hear stuff, people walking in the hallways and stuff like that, and I know I'm the only person here.
So she would distract herself so she wouldn't pay no mind, no energy, no power into it.
Right.
Smart gal.
So that stuff would happen, and it was cool because I became friends with her daughter. So I got to hang out there in high school and college and hear all these other stories and stuff in the place. But one time I was late to football practice, so I had to go down there by myself, get all my gear on and stuff. And dude, it felt like I was being watched. I swear one of the showers turned on. It looked like an actual dungeon and stuff, and everybody in the school was terrified to go down there by themselves.
Oh yeah. So and then even if it wasn't true that there was entities there, everybody paying that energy and they manifested it, something would pop up.
Right, dude. And it was just like this thing that everybody was terrified to do, and everybody at one point ended up down there by themselves, and it was just like awful. Like we had to take a shower one time down there because we had practice in the mud. And these showers haven't been turned on in 50 years, probably.
Woo!
So it was just, it stank. It was moist, mildewy. It was a dungeon, dude. But yeah, that was one of those ones that like always sat in the back of my mind and still does to this day, man.
There's people still going. The school's still open today.
They actually shut it down.
Look at that.
Yeah, they shut it down because it was too much. A church took it over, but then the church got out. They're like, we don't want this place no more. And
you know why though, right? So they probably were there to doing some spiritual mapping, and then they was too they couldn't deal with it.
Wow. Yeah, dude, it was just wild, man. And sitting in the heart of town, and it's an old town. There's a lot of ghost stories and stuff like that. The county museum's right next to it, and dude, that place is haunted 110%. I volunteered there, but when you got Native American artifacts, when you got dead like soldiers from World War II's uniforms and stuff like that, their weapons and stuff.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that stuff just comes with the territory.
It comes with energy too. Yeah.
Right.
And with that, on that beautiful tone, happy Halloween. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is dedicated to the listener of the week, and the listener of the week is CYA19. Thank you so much for following and engaging and giving me a couple of likes on Instagram. If you haven't already done so, listen to the show and watch us on YouTube. This episode goes out to CYA19 on Instagram. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is Ryley from Midwest Mythos Podcast. I want to tell you something, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for engaging with me and engaging with the audience, bro. So when this episode comes out right on Halloween, I want everybody to know that I want you guys to have a beautiful Halloween. And you, mister, take care of yourself and go rock the mic over there with your other shows.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. This is a blast. We're going to have to do something like this again soon. You know what? If you're down, let's put it right here. You want to do Thanksgiving? Get some Thanksgiving folklore.
I like Thanksgiving folklore. What's it called? Folklore. I like it. I've actually done some deep dives on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a very underrated, scary season for the country. I'm telling you, there's stories out there for Thanksgiving.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I'm down. Let's freaking go.
Let's do it. All right, y'all catch me here again on Thanksgiving.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace. Woo. That was awesome, bro.
Paranoi Radio.